Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. It's cold and I wanted to wear my coyote. I've never worn this. I bought it back in the fall and it's cold enough today to wear it. I'm a little under the weather. We have so much going on here at the homestead. We have reviews, we have giveaways, we have the conference. We are homeschooling big time right now, and I've sort of slid downhill, so I'm fighting it hard. I did get out and work all day, and after doing so much, I made myself come in and take a nap. So I'm determined to get this video done because I've taken a lot of questions in my homesteading group for this Q&A, because I don't really do live streams or live feed. It's too difficult here, and it's too far to drive to find somewhere where I can do that, so this works better. So we're going to take questions today. We have a lot here on the computer, so if you see me looking here, I'm looking at my laptop because I have all these questions lined up here with some yummy tea and Mr. Peaches. So the first question that I got today was about butchering and why do I cull animals or butcher animals, and have I shown that on a video? And the answer to that is no. We have culled and butchered roosters here on the farm. Some of the reasons why I don't do that. So I'm going to be blunt and I'm going to be short with all of my answers because of that timer up there. The longer I jibber jabber, the longer it takes to load this video, and sometimes they don't load. So the reason being is because I find butchering animals, culling, butchering, I find it to be a personal experience. Some of you are going to agree with what I say. Some of you are going to go, okay. And then some of you are going to either totally disagree, or, and some of you, you know, I don't know, somebody might be a jerk and mock me. I've gotten to the point now where I really don't care because I'm going to do what works best for our farm. But the reason being, you cannot get up, Dale, is we've never had to do so with any of our hens. We are like an egg factory, okay? I sell a lot of eggs every month. In fact, my egg sales pay for my farm, okay? So that is not on the menu in terms of an agenda right now. I've said in one of my earliest videos here on YouTube that I hadn't planned on doing that, and we still haven't. If I have to put something down because of an ailment or something wrong, that's different. Still haven't had to do that yet, because we're very good at trying to save. I save stuff, where others just think that that's going to be in the crock pot. I save things, and I like to learn from that, and I like to be inspired by that. But I will make a conscientious decision on what's best for the animal. In terms of my food supply, however, there is such thing as having too many roosters. And when we have done this, my children are very involved. I do not film my children. You see my oldest child from time to time. We have just now allowed that in recent months. He's going to be 17, so we're comfortable with him being on more social media. My younger children are not. We were set to actually butcher 16, I think we had 20. It ended up being 20, but we ended up selling the 16 lined up at the end of October because it got so hot. So we were pushing them till, you know, we were hoping that it was going to be cool enough in October, which that didn't happen this year, but to do so. I bought an entire new setup to help me with that and everything. And my husband got very sick. For those of you that don't know, my husband went into heart failure in September 14th and was hospitalized. And life has been very different since then, but my husband point blank asked me when we were finally kind of back on our feet with our schedule at the end of October, he just said, can we just sell the roosters? I will tell you that, you know, it's partially because it takes a lot of time and effort, but honestly, I think, you know, you're dealing with mortality issues. And when you are a fairly young, middle-aged hunk of a beast that's dealing with that, I don't think it was in them, okay? So I hope that answers your question. There's a lot of channels for you to go watch this process. And I hope the channel that you choose to watch in this process shows the animal the respect that it deserves, because I'm going to be honest with you, I have chosen to pull back of watching any of that stuff anymore on Facebook and in YouTube, because I think a lot of folks it's not even viewed as a rite of passage. I think it's looked at, they display it as a display of being macho, and it's not macho. Okay, your great-great-great-grandparents, even though they had to do it, I really fundamentally think that it was just as difficult for them on those days that it should be for you. And for someone to act like it's nothing, I think is very cheap. And, you know, we don't ever want to be associated with that. I think if you're here on this channel and you see how we treat our animals and all that we try to do, you already know that's not how we live and how we view things. So taking something's life, even though it's flogged you or not, is irrelevant in terms of giving it the respect that it deserves and the time that it needs, because it's a gift and it's feeding your family. Sums that up. Okay. Some of this stuff is, I don't know, so let's see. But I want to answer. So I wanted to answer that question because I get it a lot. Just to let you know that I was filming and showing when we took the pigs, and I stopped filming because when I took my pigs to be butchered, I did not want to butcher them here. It's not because I couldn't do it. It's because I didn't want to put my neighbor out, and we just thought it would be easier the first time around. And when I took my sows to be to the slaughterhouse, watching their behavior before one got off the trailer. When one got off the trailer and the other one sensed her stress, I'm going to tell you what, taking the life of an animal is, and some of you are going to say, girl, you need to be a vegan. Well, I probably could be. But at the same time, you know, in terms of, I understand why people don't want to eat animals. I get it. I get it. I do. There's a reality with it, but there should be emotion involved. And I was reminded of that day, so I didn't put up that video. It's personal, people. Personal. I've got coyote hair on me. Okay, so, there's a lot of questions, guys. I apologize if I don't get to them, so I'm going to fly. You probably can't even take me serious with this hat on. I think I need to trim it, don't you think? Okay, growing wheat. I don't grow my own wheat. Miss Homestead Lady will be the person I will put on fire for that, and I will post that in the group on that particular thing right there. How do I keep everything straight? Oh, I don't. Post-it notes, y'all. Come on. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I've had another lady right now on my Appalachian Homestead page asking me about schedule and planner. My schedule and planner is you get up and you take a shower and you take your supplements and you dive into the basics of the day. Okay, we have to stay home. This lifestyle is not for somebody that has a huge agenda outside of their home beyond, say, a job. Okay, I mean, you really have to be committed to just going and doing. I don't have to write things down in terms of what we do and what we don't do because I already have it so set in my mind. Okay, well, it's February 1st. It's time to set seeds. I know what seeds I'm going to grow. March 1st. Okay, it's March 1st. What's the weather looking like in the next couple weeks? Okay, now it's time to plant my carrots and my peas and, you know, those associated items. I press forward with the rest of the season like last year, and I haven't. You know, I've learned that if I plan, whatever I plan doesn't happen. So I keep a very generic calendar with my laptop. I keep Post-it notes, and I keep a generic to-do list, and I go by that. Sometimes things just don't get done, and that's okay. I find that I was spending too much time trying to plan and be cute with a planner, and then that just didn't go that way. So I don't do that. And after you go through, excuse me, you're interrupting. After you go through the process of this for several years, the basics of what you enjoy doing and not doing. So many of you are so anxious to do so much. I think you're going to find out that you're overwhelming yourself. You're going to have to find that out on your own, though, and you will. So relax on the schedule as far as like the entire planner. And Mr. Peaches, you got hair all over me. You know, this whole deal. Relax. Relax a little. It's okay. You just know, you know, it just teaches you, and you just go. Like when you get a pig and you get a pig a certain time, you have to call, you better be calling way in advance to have it slaughtered. You need to know a general idea of when to plant what. What do you like to plant? I have it down to a science for the most part of what I like to plant because I went through several years of planting stuff and it either didn't do well, or I didn't like it. And that's a waste of time. So all of these things are going to come to you. It's going to come to you, I promise. Diatomaceous earth, I have an entire video in my gardening playlist on diatomaceous earth. I use Permagard. I buy it in 50-pound bags. Yes, it absolutely works. Yes, I killed fire ants with it. You need to look at it. It's the white food grade, okay? And I put it in all my feeds, okay? So yes, fleas, ticks, lice, mites, your mama. Okay, definitely so. Do I weigh my vegetables? No, absolutely not. I don't weigh my vegetables. I don't have time. That's something I don't have time for. I know what vegetables I like to grow. I know what vegetables work well for what we do. That's why I'm going to really try to get back into growing my Bonnie Best tomatoes again. They work best for my garden, and they worked really great for canning. Let's hope we have a good crop this year. Okay. Do I have a chart that shows the cost of how to feed each animal? No, I have not done that. What I do is I try to stretch my feed as much as possible. That's why I do a lot of barn checks, because I will put so much out so long, and I force them to not waste it by just, in other words, I force them to eat what's there. And then I will supplement them with their treats and to make sure we have a little bit overnight for morning so they're not stressed. I can tell you right now that, you know, there are charts out there that give you an estimate of 1/3 of a cup per hen per day and all that stuff. But I think that's also dependent upon how much your animal's free range, and all of my chickens, except for my cream leg bars, I keep them pretty much in their run for the most part, but I give them a lot of supplements. But everyone else is subject to a very supervised, free-ranging life here. Your goal for hatching chicks, what's your number? I just go with the flow. I don't live on restricted land, folks. I don't live somewhere where I'm restricted by what, you know, that I am restricted. So, you know, if I've already sold 40 roosters, that's opened me up to hatch 40 more. Does that make sense? And I'm hoping that the odds are, instead of having 40 roosters, I'm going to replace them with at least 20 hens and then 20 roosters. And then I just go from there. Does that make sense? So the goal is to really keep a good egg supply going. My goats are for milk. They are Nubians. And I have got my buck now, and he is going to be 8 months old, so we are hoping maybe in the spring coming up that we're going to start seeing some live action. We're playing that by ear, so we're hopeful on that. They are for milk. They were originally bought for, that's what they've always been bought for. What happened was I had an exceptional opportunity to buy Miss Bell, and I took over with her, and she was already bred. That put off milking my goats because I focused on her. See, that's the thing you need to understand is you get into these things, if you start taking on a lot of dairy animals at one time, honey, all you're going to be doing is milking and filtering milk all day long, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, again, you go back to people saying, well, how do you do this, and how do you schedule, and how do you leave the house, and how do you, if you take on way too many things, or things happen, it's going to pull away from being at home. And so you got to learn to work with that in terms of how much do you add. It's a heck of a lot easier to add 20 chickens to my farm than it is to start milking two more dairy animals. Trust me when I tell you, okay? Plus, I'm going to have to get another refrigerator. Some folks are asking me about the cost of running a homestead. That is totally subjective. That's going to depend upon where you live, what your taxes are, how much your house payment is, what resources you have on your property, what are you trying to do on your property, because that's going to determine your feed, your hay, your tractor, your tools, your equipment, and that alone is that's why I tell you to start very, very small, because if you jump in and you start doop, and you add all of this stuff, you're going to start finding out very fast how expensive and time consuming this really is, and a lot of folks aren't up for the full gamut the first year. My goal for 2017, Miss Megan, Oh, two questions from Megan. If I get pigs again, I'm gonna try my best to get a red wattle. I had a Yorkshire cross and a red wattle, and I loved them both. The meat from the red wattle is not as fatty, and they were only within 30 pounds of each other. She didn't look as big. We were shocked at her weight. She was 494 pounds versus 530, so a little more than 36 pounds different there. We were shocked at how big both of them were. Well, not really the biggest one. We were shocked at how big the red wattle was. She was just this mass of muscle meat, and it's the best pork chops I've ever had. If you go back to the food storage challenge, you see these pork chops that were like this big. I think that the meat is better. I think it's less fatty, and I thought she was a bit more of a gentle breed. Of course, she wasn't the dominant. She wasn't dominant, so that probably played a role in that too. But I would get a red wattle, and my goals for this year are to pull back from growth of what I have to focus on making what I have better. You have to understand we had a major health setback. We didn't get our woodshed. We bought all this material for expanded fencing and a massive woodshed over here that was set. We were actually, we bought everything, and that was happening the week my husband went into heart failure. So, you know, when you deal with something like that, it really shifts. That's not just something that throws you off for a week. This has thrown us off for months. So a woodshed, we're looking at building another mini barn for hay because we need more of that. We're expanding the field again. I'm trying to figure out how I want to accommodate Moses. We're getting another livestock guardian dog, if you don't know. I'm getting her hopefully the middle of March after she's 8 to 10 weeks old. And so I'm going to be working with her and Cochise a lot. I am not planning to do my large garden. I'm letting the ground rest. I might do one corner for corn to try out the corn that I bought from Baker Creek Heirloom. But I'm focusing on the Back to Eden garden, okay? Focusing there because we have expanded and pushed so much. And I just want to make sure that everything is well built, well rested, and all of that. So I probably won't be growing my own potatoes this year. That's going to be, folks, that's a major sacrifice. Homegrown potatoes. But the good thing is if you go down to Delano, and my good old Mennonite friends, they're not Amish, they are Mennonites. And they are down in Delano, which is in Polk County. We're going to rely on them some this year to get a lot of our needs for canning. I'm still doing my tomatoes and peppers, and I'm going to expand my green beans. I really want carrots. I really want to do my carrots, but my major crop, which is my corn, my potatoes, and massive rows of beans, I'm probably not going to do this year, but the ground has got to rest, and we've got to get these other projects done. My garden size total, we were just talking about that the other day. That one down there has got to be over 10,000 square feet. This one, I think, is around 4, is what we're looking at. So you can see why pulling back that one and just focusing on the Back to Eden garden, that's going to really help us. Okay, we've got to make sure my husband is maintaining what he's doing, and some folks are asking about that. He is, he had to go back into the hospital again. He is set in with a brand new cardiologist. He's very stable right now. He is working, so we are set with the new cardiologist in 6 weeks. I mean, it takes a while to get in with these folks. So, and so unless something happens, that's the role that we're on, the road we are on. Are goats effective at eating grass and weeds down in their area? Yeah, they'll take the whole place out in about 2 days. If they get into your orchard or anything like that, you won't have anything left. It is an amazing thing. I've got a video that shows that we release the, release the Kraken or whatever it's called. You can tell I watch movies a lot. The Kraken. I put the cows over and the goats over in that massive area over there, and they ate it down in it was really way less than a week. No joke. So that's what we're actually going to put down. I'm putting down clover. I may actually do that tomorrow because you can throw the clover on top, red clover, and it will grow. So I'm going to seal that off and let the clover grow and see how it does, and then I'm going to release the cows back in there again depending on how it does. So, but it's resting. It's resting. It's amending. We're doing what we can there. Okay. What plants in my garden need to be trellised? your pole beans need to be trellised. That's Missouri Wonders, Kentucky Wonders, Rattlesnake, depending on what you like. Of course, my peas that I get, that I have seed saved from for years from Baker Creek Heirloom. Cucumbers, you don't have to trellis, but I think it's wise to. So those are my major trellised ones. Nasturtium, things like that. Those are my major trellised items, and you can use that cattle panels, hog panels. You can get cheap fencing. I wouldn't go too cheap. You want it to be sturdy. It gets very heavy. I've even done large tomato stakes, tomato trellises, and put T-stakes by them and secured them really tight, and then I put bamboo across them and zip tied them, so I made my own large ladder. Be creative. Be creative. Make your trellis, okay? Oh. I know, I can't see myself. Jenny, thank you for asking about James. I hope I kept y'all updated about that. Miss Jenny Pratt up in Michigan, Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference. She's coming. She's going to be teaching how to crochet. Have you seen her stuff? It's like killer. And then Mike, we love Mike, he's going to be on my panel class at 4 o'clock. We're having an entire panel class, a Q&A question class for all the teachers there. So they're going to be very involved, and we appreciate them coming back. They were at our 2016 conference in April. Do I plan my garden on paper? I used to. Yeah, I really used to do that, but now I don't, because now you just learn, okay, well, if I did this here, then that means I have to rotate. If you go through the process of you putting something somewhere, depending on how your ground is doing, you know what you're going to, what's best to go behind it, okay? How to rotate, what to plant in the fall to amend the soil or your cover crop or whatever. And so so it's almost like you go, okay, well, if I had this here this year, then I'm going to put, that means it's going to move over there, and this is going to follow. So you work with that. Now, the Back to Eden garden, a lot of folks do not rotate, and I'm still kind of testing that out. So we're going to see how that rolls. That's why I've left the cattle panels up. A lot of folks buying new places. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are buying new property, I wouldn't do much the first year. You know, if you want to add a chicken coop or a small garden or anything like that, your first year needs to be a year of observation. And do understand that even your first year of observation is not going to be like any other year after, okay? You cannot predict the weather. You cannot predict droughts and flooding and all of these things, but you need to, if you experience one of those items, that's more education for you to go, okay, well, this area floods really bad. I guess we won't put the pigs there. You see what I'm saying? It teaches you what you need to know. So the first year, get to know your property. There's a few things you can do that are no-brainers. Like I said, a small chicken coop, a small garden, working on your skill sets. Those are no-brainers. But don't do anything super permanent. That's why we didn't build a barn the first year that we were here. We built a little mini shed, and a mini barn, whatever, we went with that. And after we were here for a while, and I realized I got tired of walking and all the way down yonder 30 times a day, a light bulb went off, and I said, you know, all of my stuff is here, and my house is here, and my driveway is here, and it's flat here. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a barn there? Light bulbs come on, so take your time. How do I sleep? I actually sleep pretty good. I didn't sleep well last night because I'm fighting being sick, so my goal is to actually be in bed by 10:30. 10:30 to me is like ideal. It doesn't always happen, depending on what's going on, because you know you've done the final barn check, you've showered, the kids are settled in. You know, hopefully you've put the dirty dishes in the dishwasher so you don't have to look at them first thing in the morning, and you know whatever. But it doesn't always go that way. It doesn't matter. You have to get up. I was out here at 3 a.m. 2 nights ago. I woke up and I was paranoid. We took a fence off down there, and we took the gate off, and I was paranoid that it had fallen over, and I was afraid. I was like, what if that fell over, and what if Belle steps in and gets her leg caught? And I got up, put on my clothes, got the flashlight, came out here, lured the cows up here, they were fine, and fed them to distract them, and I was out in the field by myself. Of course, my husband got mad because he doesn't like that. But sure, lo and behold, the gate was knocked over. So I got it, I picked it up, it was a 12-foot gate, so I got it up by myself and got it out of harm's way. Just, you know, you have to be willing to get up. You have to get up. You have to get up. Okay, a couple more questions real quick, because this is a huge, long video. What containers have I found to be the best? I like whiskey barrels. If you can get a hold of some really nice large whiskey barrels, you know, you can even go to some of the, I don't know if you can go to distilleries. I know my cousin, they have a large, huge liquor store, and they would get these whiskey barrels in, I mean, these huge barrels in, and he would take them and he would cut them in half and then have halves on his own. That would be my I have one over here. That would be my favorite. They're really large, they can hold a lot. You want something with a lot of deep roots. Of course, you want to make sure that whatever you're using is safe, if it's a plastic container of some sort, because, you know, things leach into your food, so you want to be aware of that. At what age will a hen become broody? Seems to me that a lot of them were around a year old is when I started noticing, a little over a year old, when they really started hitting the broody. The first 6 to 12 months, they're really just maturing and starting to lay and whatnot. But it seemed like after that point, that's when I started. I don't know if there's a statistic on that, you know, but that seems to be the catch there. What am I doing? Hog panels. If you can't afford hog panels, you want to try to get some T-posts. If you cannot do cattle panels, I would recommend you still use T-posts, okay? You can get a bundle of those. Check your local co-op, and they come in different sizes. I would recommend that you get at least 6 or 7 feeders and foot tall. No more. Don't get 8. They're really difficult to try to ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching into the ground. 6 to 7 feet, maybe 6 to start out, and get some fencing of some sort. Not chicken wire. Chicken wire is a waste of money for just about everything. The only thing chicken wire works well with is on the inside of my barn to keep chickens from coming into a stall. Beyond that, it's pretty much a waste of money. I'm just going to tell you right now. But you want to get some fairly heavy-duty fencing, and I would roll it out. It's going to take more than one person because, you know, it could be heavy. And to roll it against the T-post, and I would zip tie them. I've shown that on my latest video the other day with my cattle panels. I showed you my horse fencing over there. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you get a really good roll of fencing, my fencing that we use, we buy the best fencing that's available at our co-op, and it's $179 a roll, and that's a heck of a deal. We don't want it to rust. We don't want it to come down. We want it to be at least 5 feet tall. So that is a major investment that we choose to have. So we just know that's why we do it in stages. Somebody said, how come you still are fencing in stages? It's because, hello, it's so expensive, but we want to do it right. So that's why. So I would look at fencing. You know, if somebody in your area, if they've had fencing put up, they probably have some spare pieces. You might be able to get that for free. And then the only thing you need is the, not post hole digger, but you know, that you can drive the post in. You can borrow that from somebody. They're like $17 or something cheap like that anyway. It's good to have 1 or 2 like we do, and get the T-post. All right, last and final question. Soil testing. Yes, I am. I'm going to be doing that. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry. I know it. Besides growing... You're asking me about my cough syrup, which I probably will be taking some tonight. That's the strongest stuff I got. If you want that stuff strong, honey, you just get a really strong proof whiskey. The stronger your whiskey's going to be, the stronger that medication's going to be if you want to knock it out of the park. But be careful, okay? I don't want to make anybody sick or do something wrong there. How do I juggle it all? It's called constantly being on a lick and a prayer. My children are very involved. We try to stay home as much as possible, and things don't always get done. As long as we're healthy, the house is fairly straight and moving. And when I say that, that means my laundry's on the move, my dishes are on the move, trash is taken out. We sweep every day, and we just constantly stay engaged with the animals because we've learned that the more that we are engaged with them and the more that we're willing to get up and go outside and fix and do, the less problems you're going to have. And it's getting cold. So I hope I answered most of your questions. This is 30 minutes, longer than I expected. Starting seeds inside. We'll have to do a video on that. It's coming up this week. I think I nailed most of it. We appreciate you watching, guys. We have so much coming up with the Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference. It is amazing. We have giveaways coming up with Starry on her channel. We have giveaway tickets coming up. Giveaway tickets with Deep South Homestead. Some others. We have, it's just amazing what's happening with this conference. We have so many affiliates and associates and donations and sponsors and all of these things right now. I'm trying to roll all of it out as possible. It is set for May 6th in Crossville, and it is going to be so much bigger than last year. We do have plans to sell tickets at the door, but I will tell you that the conversation has come up that we may have to not do so, because if tickets continue to sell like they are, we're going to hit full capacity. The fairgrounds can hold, because it's a huge fairgrounds, the fairgrounds can hold like 10,000 people. It's huge. But we do have classrooms and the major buildings, and you know, some of them are like 1,000 here, and you know, then 200 here, and you know, 200 here. And if you have all of that going at one time, we will have a capacity met, because we want to try to have most of our classes indoors to guard you against bad weather. But we are having the livestock guardian dog demonstrations, and with goats and with livestock guardian dogs. It is a covered area. And finally, let you know that the facility is absolutely wheelchair friendly. We have wounded warriors coming, so I want to clear that up. Absolutely wheelchair friendly, service dog friendly, all of these and above. So more information coming to you about that. Thanks for watching. I hope I answered your questions. Facebook group, I love you guys, and I'm gonna go heat up my tea and get this going. We'll talk to you soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. We'll talk to you soon.